Hi, Dan. It's Karen jumping in. Love the bookcase, and it's not often you get to see people displaying their own publications behind them. There's probably much to write about on the back of this crisis. And it struck me yesterday the difference in the projections from the Fed versus the ECB. Namely, it was the outlier years, 2021, 2022, where you start to see these come together on their projections, roughly a 5% range, the extent of the bounce that both the ECB and the Fed expect next year, and then both in the range roughly of more than 3%. Is that realistic? And do you see both economies growing roughly the same amount for the first time in many years?
I disagree with that view. I think that the Eurozone is going to have a much bigger difficulty in recovering than the United States. And I think that we've seen that before. And what tends to happen with projections from the ECB and the Fed is that they attach too much of an impetus and too much of a strength coming from government-led stimuli. And what we see afterwards with the downgrade cycle is that doesn't deliver the kind of multipliers that many of the economists would expect. So what I think is happening is that the ECB is attaching too high a Keynesian multiplier to the government spending and stimulus packages that have been implemented. And therefore, that shows a very high level of growth. But also the quality of the growth is very poor. If you look at most of the expectations, both investment is not going to grow significantly, employment is going to continue to be subdued, and most of the GDP improvement comes from more government spending and lower imports. So in reality, it's a much weaker quality GDP improvement. And I'm concerned actually that the ECB looks at 2021 and 2022 with too much of an optimism. Look at what has happened since 2014. There was only 1 year in which the ECB actually improved or revised upwards its estimates of growth. So I would be very cautious. I think that the U.S. economy is going to recover much faster. It has huge challenges, obviously, but the challenges in the Eurozone have to be added because the economy was already in slowdown in 2019.
Thank you so much for being with us again this morning. Dan Lacalle, Chief Economist at Tressis Gestion.